Welcome YouTube, Atlanta to Dallas Aviation here with a post-Christmas unveiling. And so we're almost to the end of the year, and we just celebrate Christmas. This video is probably coming out either the 2 days or potentially 3 days after Christmas. And as you might expect, I got some models for Christmas. Now, I did cheat some, and so nobody else really in the house is all that into aviation and stuff, and they don't really keep up with, even though I have spreadsheets and things, they don't really keep up with what I have and what I don't have. And so basically this hobby is more I finance it and I make all the choices and do everything. Nobody ever on their own gets me models. So again, even though I have all these models to share with you post-Christmas, I really knew they were coming. So nothing was particularly a surprise. I did sort of have one surprise one, but I knew I had ordered it. So it was a surprise in that when it arrived. So, but we're going to go ahead and get to it because we got a lot to cover. And I also want to wish everybody a happy and prosperous new year for 2025. There probably, I can almost guarantee there won't be another video before New Year's. So I want to go ahead and wish you that on this video. So as usual with our unveiling, I will be showing you the boxes, and then as you can see, got my turntable out here. We will be putting each model on the turntable, and I will be giving you the extra information that I looked up online, mostly from airfleets.net, I believe, and seatmaps.com are usually the two that I consult with, I guess, to get my extra information. So, but let's go ahead and get started on the boxes first. So our first one is going to be Porter Bombardier Q400. So basically it's a Dash 8 400. So there is that, and the registration number for this aircraft is going to be Charlie Dash Golf Kilo Quebec Charlie. It's hard, it's kind of hard to see that, but anyway, you can pause that if you want to read it. Whoops, if you want to read any of that. Sorry about the glare. But anyway, and then the item number for this model is Golf Juliet Papa Oscar Echo 2269er. Sorry, I don't know why I'm having such a hard time seeing and reading these things today. Anyway, so it is a little bit it's kind of early in the morning for me to be doing this. All right, so we got Porter, and this is what is basically pretty much the standard Gemini Jets box. All right, so that will be the first one. That will be the first model we look at. The second model is another Bombardier Q400 for WestJet Encore. So there's that. This item number is Golf Juliet Whiskey Juliet Alpha 2272. It is also a 2024 release. They should all be 2024 releases, no matter who produced the model. This registration is going to be Charlie Foxtrot Oscar Echo November. Wow, that's really small print. So, but there's the inside flap if you want to pause and look at that. And then again, your pretty standard Gemini Jets box. But that's another Q400. This one was actually the surprise. I think I received this model like either Sunday or Monday before Christmas, and I was actually not expecting it to get here before Christmas, but it did manage to get here. So that one was kind of the surprise, even though I knew I already had it ordered. All right, moving on rapidly. Next one is this McDonnell Douglas MD-83 in the old AA Eagle for American Airlines, with the cheat line down the window line. And this one is this one's the NG models. So I think NG, I can't remember. I think they put out 3 different versions, and 2 of the versions, and actually it may have been 2 versions of the 83 and then 1 version of, like, I don't know, the 88 or the 80 or something like that. It seems like there were 3 of these put out at the same time. But this one is the earlier version that has just the cone shape at the back rather than the screwdriver back. So I've got the earlier version here, and that registration is going to be November 589er Alpha Alpha. So this is, and then the item number for this is 83001. And this is the box art. And we'll take a, wow, I'm getting a lot of glare off of my boxes today. Alright, so that is the box art for that one. The next one I have is also NG models. It's this jet blue Airbus A320 in the new Spotlight's tail. So new livery with the new style, but it's Spotlight. So unlike the Spotlight tail for the all white version, and it's only on the tail, they made the spotlights bigger and they brought it down a little bit onto the back of the fuselage. So this is Airbus A320, and nicknamed Blue New Yorker there. And its registration is November 821 Juliet Bravo. All right, and its item number is 15050, and this is the box art from NG for this release. So there you have that one. So we'll be looking at that one. Number 5 is another jet blue. This is an Airbus A321-200CO. So we got the IAE engines on here. And it, as you can also see, this is the new livery and the new version of balloons. So this is the balloons tail in the new livery. And it is nicknamed Knock Knock Blues There. And this one's registration is November 9er 57 Juliet Bravo. And I have kind of looked at this one, and I think it has a loose wing, but we'll discover that a little bit later. The item number here for NG is 13107, and this is the box art. All right, there's the box art for that one. The next one is Gemini Jets, and it is the Boeing 737 MAX 8, but the high density version, which is called 200. So it's really MAX 8 200, but they just have it labeled as MAX 200. And the registration on the model is, I did look it up, and there are pictures online at jetphotos.com of this particular registration number, but evidently it has not been delivered to Allegiant yet. So currently, this model is not real, but like I said, the registration number does exist, and I think it's, if I'm remembering this off the top of my head, I'll have it on my extra information when we put it on the turntable, but I believe it's November 810 Mike Golf. I'm not sure if that's correct, but Allegiant, as far as I can tell, has not taken delivery of this particular aircraft yet, even though it is in existence. It does have that registration number on it, and I guess it's just doing whatever test it needs to do before it gets delivered, if it hasn't already been delivered. All right, so there's the box art. There's not a lot here. There's not a lot there on the flap. All the flap says is it's all it's really talking about is Allegiant itself, and nothing really. There's nothing about the airplane itself on here. So, but this is the box art for this one, and this this item number is Golf Juliet Alpha Alpha Yankee 2285. There you go, and there's the back of the box. All right, so we'll be looking at that one. The next one's also Gemini Jets, and it is the United Boeing 737 MAX 9 in the new Evo Blue color scheme. On the inside flap here, and it reveals that the registration for this aircraft is November 37555. All right, and then the item number there is Golf Juliet Uniform Alpha Lima 2226. Oops, sorry you couldn't see it there. There we go. All right, so rest of the box art here for you if you're really all that interested in it. And back of the box with its legalese stuff and social media and stuff. All right, so we'll be looking at that one. We'll be unveiling that one. Next one is also Gemini Jets, and this one's I guess my second retro one. So it is United Boeing 757-200 in the Saul Bass scheme. All right, we open the flat, and this one reveals that the registration number is November 3 I'm sorry, November 536 Uniform Alpha. There's the inside flap, and then the rest okay, and then Gemini's item number there is Golf Juliet Uniform Alpha Lima 1983. Alright, rest of the kind of boring Gemini Jets box there. Alright, you got all that? Alright, we'll be looking at that one, or we'll be revealing that one. And the last one we'll be looking at for this video is NG Models Delta Boeing 767-300ER with the Pratt & Whitney engines on them. So there's the front of the box art, and there is the registration of this particular model is November 174 Delta November. Alright, and the NG item number there is 17001. And then here's the rest of the box art. They have kind of adopted this kind of bunch of triangle type pattern for most of their Delta boxes. Alright, you see there? Alright, so with all that said, now that we've revealed the boxes and what we're going to look at on the turntable, I will be right back with the models. Alright, we're back, and I have unboxed all the models out of the boxes that I already showed you, and I've given them a little bit of a shakedown quality test, if you will, to see who might have loose parts. And the good news is I found no broken parts. And the second sort of good news is it appears that the models that do have loose parts have not resulted in chip paint, which as far as loose parts are concerned, yeah, it's annoying to have to try to glue that, especially if you don't have very steady hands like me, to try to get it glued back in. But as long as the paint hasn't been chipped, I don't write back to my retailer and say, hey, something's wrong with this model. So basically, unless the model is actually broken, something is broken and cannot easily be glued back in, or paint chips, I'll just take what I get, because I know stuff happens, and even though we are paying a lot of money for these, you know, at some point it's just, you know, is it really worth? Most retailers, or at least my experience, most retailers won't have you send it back because the retailers feel like it's kind of their responsibility to send you the shipping label. So then they have to pay for it to get shipped back, and then they have to pay for something to get shipped to you. So they kind of usually, I would suspect they usually just say, well, forget it. We'll send you another one because it's cheaper just to send another one and pay for shipping rather than paying for shipping for you to send your broken one or chipped one back to us. And so I actually have a lot of duplicates that I have are because they were either completely broken, and you know, like a nose wheel was broken off, and I mean broken off, not where it was detached and you can glue it back in, but it's actually broken off. So either things were actually broken, or there were fairly big chips Those I have gotten, but normally the retailers will maybe want you to take a picture of it, and so you prove that, hey, here's the model, here's the parts that I'm complaining about. But they usually, for the most part, they just want proof that it's messed up, and they just let you keep the broken model. So that's been my experience anyway. All right, so what you're looking at here is our first model of the Unveiling for post-Christmas. And this is the Porter Airlines Q400 with the registration of Charlie-Golf Kilo Quebec Charlie. It was delivered to Porter Airlines on the 14th of April of 2011. It is approximately 13.7 years old, and it is currently active. It is powered by two Pratt & Whitney 150As, and it has a seating configuration of 78 coach. So it's all coach. And then our next aircraft is similar. It's the same airplane, and almost everything is similar. Power plants, seating, everything. But we will put it on the turntable here for you to look at while I read some of that stuff. All right. He doesn't seem to be focusing. Come on, my friend, focus. Okay, there we go. I think he's focused now. And excuse me while I make sure I'm not too close and that the model is staying completely in frame. I like to try to keep it completely in frame, but I don't have it centered like I had the first one, because I got to center the first one before I started recording again. All right, so there you go. I think that's close. All right, so another Q400. This one's by WestJet Encore. Its registration number is Charlie-Foxtrot Oscar Echo November. Wow, my brain is just not working today. I'm sorry. Charlie-Foxtrot Oscar Echo November is this one's registration number. It was delivered to WestJet Encore on the 11th of June of 2013. It is approximately 11.5 years old and is currently active. Again, it is powered by two Pratt & Whitney 150As, and it also has a seating configuration of 78. However, 10 of them are premium economy and 68 are regular economy. So where the Porter was all economy, which means a lot of the seats all had the same pitch, so on WestJet you're comfortable in 10 of the seats and you're probably pretty cramped on the other 68 seats. But you're usually not on this plane very long though. So it's not too bad. Well, anyway, so this is the WestJet Q400 by Bombardier. And this one does have a loose wing. It's got a loose starboard wing, but it's you can tell that it's loose, but it's not like going to fall out loose, or at least as long as I treat it nicely, it will. Yeah, see, you can even kind of see it. Oops, that's probably too close. Come on, focus there, bro. There we go. Okay, so you can see that kind of big, that gap there. Now you can see a gap on the one on the other side too, but that gap's a little bit big. So that is a loose wing, but it's not, as you can see, it's a tight loose instead of a very loose. So there was my first not completely perfect model, but we'll be able to get by. Just keep an eye on it, make sure things don't fall out. All right. So our next one, and this is, I'm not sure, I think the MD83 is smaller than the A320, so this one should be, well, alright, oh, I think this might have already been moving, shoot. And that might be just a little bit too close. Alright, I think we've got the MD83 in the frame. Make sure, yeah, looks good. Alright. So we got the AA American Airlines, the Scissor Eagle. I don't remember exactly what they called this livery, but anyway, so it's very classic livery for American Airlines, with the blue, white, and red cheat line down the window line. And like I said, this one is an earlier version of the MD83 because I got the cone. The cone in the back is pointy rather than a screwdriver cone. So this is an earlier version. So American Airlines, this registration is November 589er Alpha Alpha. It was delivered to American Airlines on the 16th of September 1991. And it would be approximately 33.3 years old. Or, well, it is 33.3 years old. And according to the information I have, it is currently stored, and it has been stored since November of 2013. It is powered by two Pratt & Whitney JT8D-219s with a previous seating configuration of 16 business class and 124 coach. And there probably wasn't ever any premium economy or premium coach on this airplane. So that would be, 16 business class and 124 Y would be just your normal two class configuration for American Airlines MD83s. So it looks really nice. The only thing I'm not really a fan of is the strakes that are below the cockpit line. Overall, I would probably still say that this is a superior mold, but the strakes for the Gemini Jets version, the strakes are actually in the correct position. So these are on the NG version, they're like antenna, and they're an extra piece, and they glue that in. So potentially one of those could come unglued, and you could potentially lose it or have to try to figure out how to get that sucker back in with glue. So that I'm not a fan of. They don't, and they don't have it placed quite in the right position, where on the Gemini Jets version, it's actually part of the mold, and it's molded in or at least closer to the right position. So again, not perfect, probably gets better ratings from those of us here at doing these kind of videos on YouTube. But again, I'm not a fan of how NG did those little strakes, whatever they actually are. I don't know what they are, but they're not placed right. They're not placed in the right position exactly, and they're individual pieces. So they could fall out if they're not glued in properly and you receive it, and those parts could be just detached. And for any of you who have tried to fix antenna or reinsert antenna into these things, it is next to impossible unless you have hands of a surgeon. So not a big fan, but it looks fantastic. So I give them that. So a great model from MG Models. We will put that one aside now. The next one on the size range is this JetBlue A320. All right. In the new livery and the new envisioned tails, if you will. All right, let me see. I want to get as close to it as possible. All right, I think that's as close as I'm going to get without spending too much time on it. All right, so this is JetBlue Airways. This aircraft registration number, November 821 Juliet Bravo, was delivered to JetBlue on the 18th of December of 2012 and is approximately 12.1 years old, and it is currently active. It is powered by two IAE V2527-A5s. So IAE manufacturer, the model of the engine is a V2527-A5, and you got two of those, and it has seating of 42 premium economy and 120 regular economy. And again, this is the new vision of the spotlight tail. So now it's not just on the tail, but it's in the back part of the fuselage. All right, moving on, and there was nothing loose on this one. However, the next one, we did have a little bit of loosey-goosey problem. So this one is the other JetBlue model, and its problem is also the starboard side. That one is a very tight loose, and then oh yeah, let's see, maybe it was this side was the no. This one looks like it's going to be loose. Look at that gap. But it seems to be in there pretty well. But this one here, where the gap isn't quite as big, you can't really see it necessarily, but if you were to actually have it in your hand and you were trying to move it, you would feel it. So it's a tight loose. All right. come out a little bit on this one because it's longer. All right, good. Let's see. I might have to zoom out again. Let this come back around this way. Okay, I can live with that. Hopefully you can too. So while you're watching this go around on the turntable, which seems, I feel like this is not on the lowest setting. But anyway, let me see if I can get this to go a little bit slower. Okay, yeah, there. I thought so. I thought it was going a little bit fast. All right, so you'll be able to see this a little bit better on each side as it turns. All right, so this is the new envisioned balloon's tail on the new livery, where most of the fuselage is blue. JetBlue Airways, this is November 957 Juliet Bravo. It was delivered to JetBlue on the 23rd of October in 2015, and it is approximately 9.2 years old and is currently active. This one is also powered by 2 IAEs, but the model number of the engine is a little bit different than what's on the A320. It's a V2533-A5s, and the seating arrangement for this aircraft is 42 premium economy and 158 regular economy. So we got this beautiful model with a tight but loose starboard wing. So we're not doing too bad. At least the wings that are loose so far are tightly loose, if that makes sense. All right. Sorry for my arm there. All right, the next one on our list, I believe, is the Gemini Jet's Allegiant 737 MAX 8-200. So this is the high capacity version of the MAX 8, which also Ryanair has. All right, perfect. Looks like I may have actually put it on the turntable perfectly the first time. Give it just a second to come around here. And yep, all right. We can move on with the extra information here. All right, so, all right, I got the registration correct. So this is going to be November 810 Mike Golf. It does exist, but as far as I can tell, it has not been delivered to Allegiant yet. So it's out there waiting to be delivered at the very least. So it has not yet been delivered, so we're putting a 0 years. It's 0 years old. It has not been birthed yet. Although it probably has taken its first flight, and most of the how old aircraft are based on very first flight, not first flight with the first carrier it serves for, but the first flight ever. But I did not see that it has even had its first flight. But it probably has. But it does exist. It is powered by 2 CFMI LEAP-1Bs and will likely have a seating for 190 economy because the 3 Max 8-200s that they do have that seating arrangement of 190 all coach and no premium coach or anything. It didn't say anything about having premium coach. It was just all coach. So 190. All right. So we will move on rapidly from this one. The next one is our most problematic one. And this one is, as you can see, this is Gemini Jets, United and Evo Blue. This is Max 9. And this one is the most problematic because the wing on the port side is, if I held it sideways, it would fall out. So I'm going to have to do a glue job on that one for sure, or I could potentially lose a wing. And then not only that, but the main gear on that wing could get damaged if it falls out. So I'm going to have to, after this recording, I'm going to have to fix that. But anyway, so this is United Airlines, November 5. I'm sorry, hold on. Nope, I'm sorry. That's the next one we're doing. United Airlines, this is registration in 37555. It was delivered to United on the 24th of March 2023 and is approximately 1.8 years old, and it is active. It is powered by 2 CFMI LEAP-1Bs, and it seats 20 business class, 48 premium economy, and 111 regular economy. Oops, sorry guys. All right, we got 2 more to go here. I'm not sure if I have enough time. I may have to stop it. And all right, I will be back in just a second. I'm going to start another recording here. All right, I'm back. All right, so the next one we're going to look at, and there's no problem with this one. Whoops. Got a little bit of dust on there, or like a stray hair somehow. All right, so this is another retro one to kind of join my American Airlines one. Except I might have to zoom out a little bit. Let's see. Looking good so far. Just clipped off the nose a little bit. Let's see how it looks coming around this way. All right. All right, very good. So this is the one I was about to read. United Airlines, this is November 536 Uniform Alpha. It was delivered to United on the 31st of July in 1991, and it would have been approximately 33.5 years old, but it has since been scrapped in 2017. It was powered by 2 Pratt & Whitney 2037s, and its seating configuration was 24 business class or domestic first class and 158 coach. And this is in the beautiful Sawbass livery. And while Gemini Jet 757 is okay, there's nothing really wrong with it, but it's dated, and of course NG's 757 blows this one out of the water, just like this one blew Dragon Wings 757 out of the water in its day. So, but anyway, it's fine, and it's the beautiful saw bass livery, and I don't have a 757 in saw bass livery. So this was a good pickup for me. So I hope you enjoyed that one, and we have one more left before I get to end the video here and go edit it for y'all to enjoy. Alright, this one I'm going to have to zoom out because this one's by far the largest airplane of the model set. And I believe I might be able to leave it right here for you. Oh, the tail just got cut off. Alright. The top of the tail got cut off when it was on the far side there. Alright. That should do it. I hope. Alright, there we go. You should be able to enjoy that now while I read out the extra information here. Yeah, those cockpit windows look awfully small. I was hoping that that wasn't a batch thing. This, and the other interesting thing is about this is so these have the Pratt and Whitney engines on them, but everyone that I've seen who reviews this model, the bottom part, which I don't really, well, you can sort of see it in the mirror, there's no Delta written on the underside, and I wasn't sure if that was something that is actually true. Maybe the artwork that NG had for it didn't show this aircraft with Delta under there, because the Delta with the widget painted on the bottom was like an update to this livery. So I don't know if that's what it is, or if this aircraft actually does not have the lettering and the widget painted on the bottom. If you do know, let me know in the comments. I'd like to know if this aircraft actually, at least now, has Delta in the widget painted on the bottom. But obviously this model is representing a simpler time, or they just totally screwed up this model and didn't put the Delta and the widget on the bottom of any of this model, because the ones with the CF engines, I can't remember, CF engines I think is the other engine option that Delta has on the 767-300ER. That one that NG put out did have it on the bottom. So I don't know if it just got overlooked and this whole batch was like that, or if the artwork they had for this particular registration number did not have that detail. But it kind of bothers me, honestly. Anyway, so this is Delta Airlines. The aircraft registration November 174 Delta November was delivered on the 20th of July of 1990. It is approximately 34.5 years old, and it is currently active. This 767-300ER is powered by two Pratt & Whitney 4060s and seats 36 business class, 32 premium economy, and 143 regular economy. So there you have the beautiful NG models Delta 767-300ER with Pratt & Whitney engines. And those Pratt & Whitney engines are better represented. I do have one of these with that engine option for Gemini jets, but their engine is like they did not put there's no way to look at their engines, their two different engine options, and say, oh yeah, this one is definitely different than the other engine option. So that's part of the reason I haven't bought a Gemini Jet 767-400, because as I understand it, the Dash 400 only has the Pratt & Whitney 4000 engines, whatever model, but PW 4000s, and it just looks like the engines they have on their 300 model. So that's kind of why I thought my Gemini Jets 767 had the other engine option on it, but then after I had ordered this one and I looked at the box for the Gemini Jet one that I already had, it said it was supposed to be the Pratt & Whitney 4000 engine option, but it doesn't look any different than the CF6, I think is what the other engine option is. It doesn't look any different than the CF6. So I thought I had the CF6 with the Gemini, so I ordered the Pratt & Whitney from NG rather than buying a CF6 from NG to go with what I thought was a CF6 from Gemini Jets. Okay, that's enough blabbing and going on and on and on. I am sorry. So that pretty much brings us to the end of the Unveiling Christmas edition. And even though it did go a little bit longer than I was hoping it would go, and I don't think there's going to be a lot for me to edit out. I will be looking to see what I can edit out. I promise to try to make this shorter, but it looks like this video is going to be a good 45 minutes at least. So I'm sorry about that. I will get it down a little bit shorter as much as possible. However, with all that said, if you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like and maybe sharing with your friends. If you enjoy multiple videos, if this isn't the first video you've watched and you enjoy multiple videos, please consider subscribing to the channel. And I always like reading your comments, either whether it was to correct me on something I got wrong or to educate me on something that I wasn't sure about, or if you want to make a comment on your opinion of any of the models. So again, like, subscribe, or consider liking and subscribing. And until the next video, happy collecting, and I hope you had a happy holiday.